Just days after saying he's running for re-election, Governor Abbott is bringing his message here to East Texas. Coming up, learn where you can see him later today and what he is promising Texas taxpayers. Plus, it's been over 4 months since the deadly Camp Mystic floods. Coming up, hear from the parents suing the camp after their daughters died, and they're pushing for change. And for one Jacksonville teacher, her students are family. Coming up, how she's raising funds to make sure kids don't go hungry over the winter break.
And temperatures today finally going back above average. I'll show you how long that'll last in your full forecast coming up. So stay right there because Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus starts right now.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who served in office since 2015, is inviting East Texans to join him for a community conversation about his plan to empower Texas taxpayers. This event starts later this afternoon at ETX Brewing Company near downtown Tyler. We'll have more information on that here in just a few minutes. Good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Dana Dixon has the week off. Thank you so much for joining us here on CBS 19 Plus. We're going to get a check on that weather with Joel. It's starting to feel much better than it did earlier this week.
Absolutely. I mean, temperatures bottomed out in the upper 40s, low 50s, certainly better than freezing. That'll be the case for the rest of this week. It's going to be very much above average when it comes to our daytime highs, so be ready for that. But as we take a look at our Roberts Cam, looking north on Broadway this morning, beautiful skies out there, just a nice thin layer of clouds overhead. Temperatures near 52 degrees, also south winds at around 8 miles per hour. Pressure is also rising, which means we are going to be in for some warmer temperatures into this week as a ridge of high pressure moves in. Middle 40s to low 50s for temperatures all across the area this morning. So definitely a day where you'll definitely want a little bit of layers, as we head into this morning. But for this afternoon, you'll want to shed some of those off. Actually, most of them off as we head into this afternoon. Temperatures aiming for the 80-degree mark today. A couple of clouds will be a possibility as well for a change, as we're kind of seeing at the moment. As we take a look at our Roberts Cam earlier, 80s all the way through the rest of this week. Potential for our next storm system arrives possibly into next week. I'll show you what the data that we know of so far is in your full forecast coming up.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. Governor Greg Abbott is making a campaign stop, that is, in the Rose City later today. And this comes just days after he announced he's running for a 4th term. Abbott has served as governor since 2015. And he's inviting East Texans to join him for that conversation. And he's running on a platform to empower Texas taxpayers. Now, this event starts at 1:30 at ETX Brewing Company. That's near downtown Tyler.
No more ice! No more ice! No more ice!
And the governor's visit comes a day after many people gathered in downtown Tyler for a peaceful protest. They're calling for an end to Smith County's cooperation with federal immigration authorities under the 287G program. The group voiced concerns over recent reports of ICE arrests in the area, saying the partnership creates fear in the immigrant communities and separates families. County officials have defended the program. Just last week, Smith County Sheriff Larry Smith said in Commissioner's Court that his deputies are not profiling people. And more protests are expected to happen today near downtown and outside ETX Brewing, where Governor Abbott is set to hold his campaign rally this afternoon. We'll have team coverage from those protests as well as inside ETX starting at noon. You can watch that on CBS 19 Plus as well, which is free to download on your smart TV. Well, tensions are building over a major water project in East Texas. A Dallas area company wants to drill 43 high-capacity wells into the Carrizo-Wilcox Aquifer, but a legal fight is slowing everything down. Conservation Equity Management, led by investor Kyle Bass, is suing the Natchez in Trinity Valley's Ground Conservation District, claiming that the district is stalling the plan. Bass says the goal is to measure how much water is underground before pumping begins, but many locals worry that the project could drain their wells and threaten local water supplies. A recent court ruling has paused all drilling until more research is done, and the Groundwater District has declined to comment on the lawsuit. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is celebrating what he calls a major win in his long fight against intoxicating hemp. Nearly all THC products would be banned in Texas and many other states if a rule passes the House today. The U.S. Senate approved a language banning nearly all THC-containing hemp products nationwide. Now, the ban is part of the spending bill to end the government shutdown. Patrick, who led a failed charge for a similar ban in Texas earlier this year, praised the move, saying it will, quote, save a generation from getting hooked on dangerous drugs. But critics warn It could kill an entire industry, impacting thousands of farmers and businesses. Across Texas, it's been more than 4 months since the deadly flooding at Camp Mystic in the Texas Hill Country. This morning, we're hearing from the parents of a girl who are suing the summer camp after their daughter's death and are pushing for change. Jennifer and Douglas Getton are the parents of 9-year-old Ellen, who was at Camp Mystic when the Guadalupe River flooded on July 4th. They're among several families who filed the lawsuits against Camp Mystic and its owners, accusing them of ignoring flood risks prior warnings. Ellen had a sister who also went to Camp Mystic and she survived, but their parents say they never would have sent their girls to Camp Mystic if they had known the risks. Now, they don't want the camp to reopen until more safety precautions are taken.
Occurring. What we don't want to have is anyone else send their kid to a camp and 5 days later learn that their child is lost. 2 days later be told you're being DNA swabbed, which means that you've really lost your daughter. And wait a week to find the body. And we were supposed to pick our daughter up from camp, both daughters, on July 26th, and said we had a funeral on July 16th. We don't want that to happen to anyone else ever. It's unacceptable.
In a statement, a legal representative for Camp Mystic said they empathize with the families. They also said they disagree with several accusations in the lawsuits and that they intend to prove that the flooding was unexpected and that there was not an adequate warning system in the area. Meanwhile, a state probe into Texas Southern University is drawing sharp reaction. Some lawmakers are defending TSU after an audit flagged millions in questionable expenses. Stephen Goen has their reaction.
Texas Southern now under a microscope after Governor Abbott launched an investigation. The inquiry prompted by a letter from the state auditor, which reveals preliminary findings from a months-long review of the school's financial processes. The audit finding more than $400 million of invoices facing scrutiny. But in a statement, TSU pushed back and said in part, the school enacted corrective measures prior to the release of the interim report, including a new procurement system. Lawmakers reacting. State Rep. Jolanda Jones, whose district includes TSU, says her connection to the school runs deep.
My mother graduated from the Texas Southern University. My dad attended Texas Southern.
And she argues that Governor Abbott, who appoints the school's Board of Regents, would share responsibility for any issues at TSU.
If there's any malfeasance going on, and we don't know that there is, if there is, what does that have to do with the university when you appointed the people who are running this university?
She also believes the criticism against the school is rooted in race.
And you are literally trying to destroy black excellence. You're trying to erase us. You're trying to get rid of us.
State Rep. Ron Reynolds, who graduated from TSU, shares that view. He also questions whether the investigation is part of a broader push to limit the school's autonomy.
A pattern of this climate that we find ourselves in that is anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have enjoyed that independence. And there are many people who want to see TSU in the system.
Meanwhile, Reynolds says the school's future could be put at risk if state leaders freeze TSU's funding, as Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has suggested, as the investigation continues.
What does this mean that they're going to freeze the funding for Texas Southern University? How are they going to operate on a day-to-day basis?
7:09 now, time now for your morning headlines. The House is back in session today for the first time in nearly 2 months, moving the government one step closer to reopening. Members of the Republican-led House returned to Washington this week after the Senate passed a funding bill late Monday. The House is expected to vote on the spending measures as soon as this afternoon. Meanwhile, SNAP benefits are still up in the air for millions of Americans as the government shutdown drags on. Yesterday, the Supreme Court extended a temporary pause on a lower court's order that required the Trump administration to fully fund the food assistance benefits in November, meaning for now, the administration will continue to withhold about $4 billion in payments for the food assistance program. 1 in 8 Americans rely on SNAP benefits. And a recall we told you about earlier this week has expanded. We're talking about the ByHeart baby formula recall. The company is now pulling all cans off its store shelves. Federal and state health officials say at least 15 babies in a dozen states, including here in Texas, have gotten sick since August and most recently since this month. All 15 babies were hospitalized but are now recovering. ByHeart is urging families to stop using any of its formula and to throw it out. And here's some good news to get halfway through your work week and look forward to something, right? The jackpot keeps climbing And it's starting to sound like a broken record, but I don't think that's a bad thing for anyone. The Mega Millions has soared to $965 million. No one hit the winning numbers last night. This was the 39th drawing without a big winner, so your next shot at winning and becoming rich is this Friday night. 7-Eleven now. One Jacksonville teacher is feeding more than minds. She's feeding hearts and stomachs. CBS19's Robert De La Garza shares how she's making sure her kids and her community won't go hungry.
For math teacher Jakisha Fuller, the kids around her aren't just students or neighbors, they're family.
Hey y'all. So kiddos.
And nothing brings a family together like a warm meal.
You know, sometimes they don't know when the next time they're going to have a hot meal.
But according to Feeding Texas, 1 in 6 households in the state face food insecurity. And Fuller knows firsthand what many of her students face once school's out.
I think we're all, you know, maybe one tragedy away from experiencing financial hardships.
That's what's inspired her to fight food insecurity in the same neighborhood where she was raised. Each week, Fuller gives free math tutorials and meals to children at the Sweet Union apartments.
No matter how big or small, I think it's important for us to come back and give back to the kiddos that are being raised in a similar fashion that we were.
Now Fuller has launched a fundraiser to help families have meals on the table during the winter break.
We want to make sure that the families have what they need in order to provide, you know, any kind of care for the kids while they are gone.
She hopes to raise $6,000 to help feed more than 60 families at Sweet Union.
We wanted to be able to not just give them a hot plate for one day, we wanted to be able to get groceries in their houses so that they can ration it out over the time.
A mission, she says, that goes beyond food and shows families they're not alone.
So that parents know that they do have help. They do have help. They have someone that cares. They're not forgotten about.
Bridging the gap, one meal at a time. In Jacksonville, for CBS 19, I'm Robert De La Garza.
Neighbors helping neighbors. We love to see it. Hey, here's something cool too. If you're not looking at your screen, you might want to right now. A colorful spectacle that is too good not to share. These are the Northern Lights that put on a show last night, wowing people all across East Texas. I'm sure your social media feeds literally lit up with these pictures and videos of people capturing the colorful sky. Just check out some of these photos sent to us by our viewers. This one's from Maddie over in Canton. We have a few others as well from Michelle over in Hawkins, overlooking a lake there. How awesome is that? Hey, and you can actually see the pink and the purple hues coming off the horizon. This one's by Caitlin over in Tyler. Now, the best views of the northern skies were up in northern states like Wisconsin and Nebraska. But it's pretty cool to see these lights all the way down here, even if it's just with your camera and not the naked eye. And you can send those pictures over to us as well, and we'll feature them over on our website as well. Send it to news@cbs19.tv. Well, dozens of volunteers spent most of their Veterans Day remodeling the home of an East Texas veteran. Now, the upgrades are thanks in part, that is, to a $17,000 grant from the Home Depot Foundation. Julie Parr has more on this project that celebrates veterans for their service.
More than 70 volunteers pitched in to help with the Veterans Home Remodel Project.
For them to even consider us is amazing, and this to me is just a gift from God. It's pure and simple. It is the grace of God for us.
While Veterans Day is the biggest work day, TXK, Make Ready Construction, Restoration of Hope, and other volunteers had already leveled the home of Clifton and Amy Gunstanson. Volunteer Jason Butler says the project is only possible through generous donations and teamwork.
We've been here off and on for about a month and a half now, just doing what we can. On the days we have off from our regular jobs, we're here working.
Amy Gunstanson served in the Navy for 6 years. The Home Depot Foundation partners with various nonprofits to provide grant funds to support veteran housing.
Our veterans are overlooked in a lot of situations, and so with Team Depot and the contractors involved, we want to shine a light on the people that gave us our freedoms in this country.
Deanna O'Malley with Communities Unlimited was a local partnering agency on the Gunstanson home remodel. She says Clifton's health was beginning to deteriorate just before the Home Depot team and other volunteers stepped in to help.
If you ever wanted to know what it felt like to save somebody's life, you're going to feel it today, because I know that they need us, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
It's so amazing. It's like, God provides. and all the people come together in the community to help, and it's amazing.
The couple's home is expected to be move-in ready by Christmas. Reporting in Atlanta, Texas, Julie Parr.
All right, 7:15 now. We all have that one thing we can't leave the house without, besides our phone, obviously. For some of us, it's our favorite coffee mug. For others, the obvious, your keys or your wallet. Maybe it's a pair of sunglasses or your headphones, or even a go-to snack. It's a small item, but it makes our day run smoother, right? So we want to know, what's your can't leave the house? What's your can't leave item? You can't leave the house without an item. Oh my goodness. Good morning, y'all. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna.
You started off.
I'm gonna say money. Just money. I know we kind of said wallet earlier. I mean, that's huge, but being a little more specific, gotta be money.
I'm gonna say probably my gym bag, because if I go straight home after work, I'm not going out.
Yeah.
As soon as I go home, I'm staying home. So I have to go out and do my errands while I'm already out and about. So that's sort of like not my incentive, but my
it's almost like a motivator.
A motivator, if you want to call it that. It's like, I already have my gym bag, might as well go out and about. So that's my go-to right there. We have some people on Facebook chiming in as well. I like Elaine's, and I used this a lot last week, her chapstick.
Oh,
it was stupid dry last week.
Oh, yeah. Still kind of dry today, yeah.
Amy saying her purse. Sarisa saying her wallet as well, like we mentioned. We can't live without them, Amy. Our car keys. And then Jesse saying sunglasses. I like Daryl and Wanda's answer. They said they're water or water bottles.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated.
That's a really good one.
Or just fill up this coffee mug with some water too. It all works out regardless.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It is what it is. Hey, keep on guessing on our Facebook. We have this water cooler question, or not water cooler question, our question of the day posted over on our Facebook page. So keep on guessing. I don't know if we still have weather up, Joel.
We do.
We do.
Yes,
okay,
we do have the
weather.
system. Yeah, we had some issues with the system, but we do have traffic for you this morning. Let's take a look at our I-20 report. We got 2 hours over to Dallas this morning and an hour and 30 minutes over to Shreveport. So looking A-OK on the I-20 side of things. US 69 also doing pretty well this morning. 2 hours, or in 2.5 hours, I should say, up to Denison, and an hour and 30 minutes down to Lufkin. Nice clear conditions there. Other routes, we got 55 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, 40 minutes from Tyler to Longview, 55 minutes from Tyler to Palestine, and last but not least, 45 minutes from Tyler to Athens. Now, CBS19 Live Radar is a nice clean sweep here across the area. We got some nice dry conditions. Not quite clear skies, but certainly some dry conditions out there. Visibility's kind of in and out here across the area, mainly over Deep East Texas. We got 5 miles visibility over Carthage and 7 miles visibility in Crockett. So some fluctuating visibilities out there, but by and large here, we are looking at a clear morning this morning. I do expect that those clear conditions will continue into the rest of this morning, with temperatures starting out in the 50s. We'll be up into the upper 70s, low 80s will be possible into this afternoon with partly cloudy skies.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. 7:18 this morning. Undefeated Tyler Junior College heads to the Southwest Junior College Conference semifinals and the Mavericks GM shakeup. Talk about what went right and what went wrong. That's coming up next in sports. Time now 7:19. We'll be right back here on CBS 19 Plus.
It's time for CBS 19 Sports. Well, hello and welcome to Sports. I'm Jimmy Searfoss. We're glad you're with us because there are just 2 undefeated college football teams in the entire state of Texas, and one of them is just right over there. The Tyler Junior College Apache are perfect 9-0, and for the second year in a row, they ended the season as the best team in the Southwest Junior College Football Conference. But this time, they ended it as also the 3rd best team in the nation. Now they're prepping for Cisco College in the SWJC FC semifinal this Saturday at Rose Stadium. This team's been firing on all cylinders lately. When you talk to the head coach, Tanner Jacobson, you find out it's not from all the schemes they're drawing up. Apache head coach Tanner Jacobson has always been around winners.
You look at who I've played for and coached with, it's a really good list. I was in the South Lake Carroll coaching tree of all those different guys. Cliff Kingsbury was my head coach at Texas Tech. Right? He's coaching in the league right now. Kalani Sitake, who's still at BYU, was my head coach. I worked for him as a coach for 2 years after I was done playing.
So when TJC brought him in as head coach of the Apache, he did the same thing he was taught under some of the best in the game. And now in his 3rd season, he's got the black and yellow undefeated.
It's not by chance, obviously, that we're sitting here undefeated, regular season conference champs, but really, really proud of these players, how they bought into the culture.
Wait. Say that last part again.
Bought into the culture.
And that culture is something Jacobson built from his experiences with the coaches he worked under.
Those are really the biggest influence of how to interact with people on a day-to-day basis, how to create a team culture. I believe as a coach, you create the culture, you write the narrative, and you cast the vision.
And that vision has built a Division I college factory. Over 70 players in the last 3 years have made the move to D1, and that doesn't even count the smaller programs. Most of that 9-0 team on the field on Saturdays wasn't starting last year.
I mean, at the end of the day, we play football, right? And it's supposed to be fun. And fun for me is doing things the right way, executing the right way, being the best version of yourself. And so it's a great atmosphere that we've created.
All right, y'all, it was the biggest news of the day. Nico Harrison is out as the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, and to help break down why, I've made a game called Happy Nico, Sad Nico. Guys, every single event that he played a part in will either make his head grow on the happy side or the sad side. By the end of this, we should understand if he left a more positive or negative impact on the team. All right, got the rules? Let's go. Let's start it off. Signing Kyrie Irving. Definitely a positive. This guy's an all-time hooper. Injured a lot, sure, but he's played such a huge role in some real special Mavericks moments over the years. Definitely a net positive. See how the head grew a little bit there? All right, what's next? Letting Jalen Brunson go. Not great, not gonna lie. He's been all NBA twice now, averaged over 24 points each year since leaving Dallas. He's been a centerpiece for that Knicks to build around. So yeah, Nico Head's gonna get a little bit bigger on the sad side. One more, how about this? All right, NBA Finals, Dallas Mavericks, easy on this one. They lost, but man, how fun was that year? They got so close to getting number 2. The future was so bright under Nico Harrison, right? Well, let's go ahead and grow that head. What's next for us? Trade the franchise star and spirit of the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic, away to a rival team in the Western Conference for an aging and fragile star, and then losing the fan base in the process while also failing to get a winning team on the board while also getting the #1 overall pick, but he's kind of inconsistent and the team's still losing. Oh my gosh, all right, next thing. That's a little bit better. Matt Riccardi, this guy's actually played basketball at UT Tyler. He's gonna be co-GM with former Maverick Michael Finley as the Mavericks look for that next general manager to lead the team. That's all I got for you. Morning, y'all.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. Hey, we're about to step away for a quick moment while we do our over-the-air broadcast with a quick news update. We'll be back with much more here on CBS 19+. Good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. Some disturbing new details about two East Texas brothers, both former law enforcement officers accused of horrific crimes against a child. Court documents say former Houston County deputies Skylar Laza and former Gladewater officer Keenan Laza were arrested last week on state charges of aggravated sexual assault and indecency with a child. Now, investigators say a Dallas detective traced nearly 200 explicit videos from a Dropbox tip to Skylar Laza's Anderson County home. The victim told police the abuse began when the child was only 9 years old. The two brothers now face charges of sexual exploitation of a child. Both remain in custody waiting federal trial. And it's been more than 4 months since the deadly flooding at Camp Mystic in the Texas Hill Country. And this morning, we're hearing from the parents of a girl who are suing the summer camp after their daughter's death, and they're pushing for change as well. Jennifer and Douglas Ganton are the parents of 9-year-old Ellen, who was at Camp Mystic when the Guadalupe River flooded on July 4th. They're among several families who have filed that lawsuit against Camp Mystic and its owners, accusing them of ignoring flood risks and prior warnings. Ellen had a sister who was also at Camp Mystic. She survived. Their parents say they never would have sent their girls to Camp Mystic if they had known the risks. Now they don't want the camp to reopen until more safety precautions are taken.
Occurring, what we don't want to have is anyone else send their kid to a camp and 5 days later learn that their child is lost. 2 days later be told you're being DNA swabbed, which means that you've really lost your daughter. And wait a week to find the body. And we were supposed to pick our daughter up from camp, both daughters, on July 26th. Instead, we had a funeral on July 16th. We don't want that to happen to anyone else ever. It's unacceptable.
In a statement, the legal representative for Camp Mystic said they empathize with the families. They also said they disagree with several accusations in the lawsuits and that they intend to prove that the flooding was unexpected and that there was no adequate warning system in the area. All right, let's get a check on that forecast now with Joel. Much more comfortable and a lot less colder than it was earlier this week.
That is for sure. And for this afternoon, we're going to be well above average into the upper 70s, low 80s in some spots today. Certainly a possibility. Also, a few clouds overhead for a change. Another thing that we're going to have to watch for here is that fire danger. It has since improved since yesterday, but still not really the best conditions, especially along and north of I-20, where we're seeing some areas of high, even very high risks for fires to spread. So today, certainly it's still not a good idea to burn anything. We are expecting those dry conditions to continue to hold all the way through this week. We are keeping an eye on our next storm system, which is currently off to the north and west, slated to arrive sometime next week. Your 7-day forecast shows those temperatures aiming for the low to mid 80s, well above average for this time of year. Partly cloudy, mostly sunny for your Friday. Back to partly cloudy. Slight chance of rain as that system moves in on Sunday, but the better chance for it at the moment is Monday into Tuesday.
Welcome back to Morning Y'all here on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. A firefighter survived a terrifying, life-threatening attack. Up next, the incredible story of how he made it through and the hero who helped him. Plus, the government shutdown could be ending soon, but how quickly will SNAP benefits return in? When will air travel get back to normal? Those details coming up.
And we certainly need the rain, that is for sure. Across East Texas, we got abnormal to even moderate drought conditions. When will the next chance of rain be? Well, I'll let you know in your full 7-day forecast coming up later this half hour.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
7:31 on the dot this morning. Good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Dana Dixon has the week off. Well, the House will vote on a stopgap funding bill today, already approved by the Senate, with the president expected to sign it. SNAP benefits could resume quickly, helping over 40 million Americans, but air travel, well, that might take a little bit longer. FAA cancellations continue due to controller traffic shortages, that is, and officials want to ensure staffing before lifting those restrictions. Amy Kiley has more.
If the government reopens, how long will it take for things to get back to normal? Many are asking that question now that the shutdown appears close to ending. Today, the House is set to vote on a stopgap funding bill that's already through the Senate. The president is signaling he'd sign it. If that happens, officials say SNAP benefits could resume promptly.
It appears that we're on a glide path up in Washington where the SNAP benefits will be fully honored, hopefully by the end of this week.
That's likely a relief for the more than 40 million Americans who rely on SNAP for food.
I'm trying to do my best to shield my daughter from how concerned I am, but at the same time, she is seeing the difference in our cupboards. She's seeing the difference in her meals.
The timeline for air travel returning to normal is less certain. The FAA is still forcing flight cancellations due to air traffic controller shortages. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says they'd get 70% of their back pay within 48 hours of the government reopening. But
I'm concerned that we're not going to have on day one controllers come back into the towers right away.
Duffy says he'll rely on data to decide when the FAA can lift shutdown-related flight restrictions.
We're trying to manage risk in the system to make sure people fly and fly safely.
For CBS19, I'm Amy Kiley.
And Democrats largely oppose the stopgap bill because it doesn't guarantee certain Obamacare subsidies won't expire. Now, if Congress doesn't extend them, Democrats say the cost of health care insurance could more than double for millions of Americans.
No more ICE! No more ICE! No more ICE!
Here in East Texas, over 100 people gathered in downtown Tyler for a peaceful protest. They're calling for an end to Smith County's cooperation with federal immigration authorities under the 287G program. Now, the group voiced their concerns over recent reports of ICE arrests in the area, saying the partnership creates fear in the immigrant communities and separates families.
I just want them to know that we're not criminals. We're just hard worker people. We're hard worker people that we want a better future for ourselves and our families, because we deserve that, as you guys deserve. Everybody deserves a good life with good people around and good families, and be together with their families.
Meanwhile, county officials have defended the program. Just last week, Smith County Sheriff Larry Smith said in Commissioner's Court that his deputies are not profiling people. 7:34 now over in Louisville. A family is recounting a terrifying close call after last week's deadly UPS plane crash. They say they were covered in jet fuel and had only seconds to escape before a second blast. Mary Bollinger was in the car with her grandchildren, waiting to pick up her husband when she saw the plane coming down. Flames and smoke filled the air, and she pulled her kids down for cover. Just seconds later, another explosion happened. Her husband ran inside the building, jumped in the car, and drove them straight to the hospital. That blast left the car's front grille charred, and Bollinger's eardrum was burst, and her granddaughter suffered burns.
I looked up, seen a plane really low, and then seen smoke and flames, and literally the nose of the plane was pointed right at us. I knew that I had seconds to get my kids out of there or we was all gonna die.
Covered in jet fuel and obviously shaken, the family says the experience was terrifying, but they feel grateful to be alive. 7:35 now. A Georgia firefighter is alive and well just days after he was nearly killed by a Subaru sword attack at a gas station. He says it's all thanks to God and a split-second decision and a friend who became a hero. Hunter King has that story.
Laughter is not the sound you'd expect from a man who just over 2 weeks ago was fighting for his life.
They were able to reconstruct it with pins.
But Chad Wombles isn't your typical patient.
I do believe with all my heart that God himself, our Savior Jesus Christ, came in and gave me strength to do things that I didn't even know I could do.
October 26th, just after midnight, Wombles was at this Wrightsville gas station talking with his lifelong friend, Police Officer Jay Hood. That's when a stranger attacked him from behind with a samurai sword. With one swing, the blade completely severed Chad's right hand, his left thumb also gone. As Deputy Ryan Hull rushed him to the hospital in the back of his cruiser, Wombles thought he was dying.
I asked God to forgive me of my sins. I asked him to spare my life because I have two sons, a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old, and my wife, Kayla.
Then something changed.
But I had the strength of a lion by the time I got to that hospital.
That night, doctors reattached his right hand and left thumb. The next day, Chad could move his fingers. But he says the real miracle was Officer Jay Hood.
If Officer Hood would not have been there, I know we wouldn't be having this conversation, because that man would have decapitated me. No one you will ever meet will ever hold the true sense of the word of hero and lifesaver any more than my lifelong friend Jay Hood.
Wombles believes he was put there that night for a reason, to protect others who were inside the store.
If that saves their life, I'd do it all again tonight.
A third-generation firefighter still answering the call to serve.
All right, closer to home now, Veterans Day is a time to celebrate and honor those who served our country. We had quite a few events all over East Texas to recognize the men and women who defended our freedoms.
At the twilight's last gleaming.
The Tyler Area Chamber of Commerce hosted a Veterans Day celebration yesterday. The event featured lunch, free gifts for veterans and guest speakers, and a performance by the Texas College Choir. Organizers say they hope the unity takes time not just on veterans, that is, but every day to thank those who served for their service.
Just so they won't forget.
Right. We did our part. We did our job.
Incredibly important to take a pause on this particular day on November 11th to say to our veterans, thank you. Thank you for providing the ability for us to have the liberty that our founding fathers set up in this country, and perpetuate that liberty in such a way that we can follow our dreams. We can follow the call that God has on our lives.
I just want to say thank you.
Well, attendees said yesterday's event was a reminder of the sacrifices made by service members and the lasting impact they've had on the nation. 7:38 now, let's get to what's trending. Get ready, McRib fans. Yeah, the iconic sandwich is back at McDonald's for a limited time, as it is always. And hey, here's a fun fact about the McRib. It's actually the company's most mentioned limited time product online, and some fans are even joking that Bitcoin and the stock market tend to rally when it returns, though experts warn that's not always the case. The sandwich was almost gone for good in 2022, but here it is again. Availability may vary by location, so make sure to check your local McDonald's or fan sites like the McRib Locator to see if you can grab one. I'm not a huge fan of the McRib.
Really?
I'll be honest.
You know what? I've never had it before.
You haven't?
I haven't. So I better get it while it lasts.
Yeah. I just
not a fan, huh?
Not a fan.
Interesting.
Okay. I don't know what it is. The sauce is fine. I've tried it with no onions. The pickles are great. The bun, I think it's just the rib meat.
Okay.
There's something about it.
Something about it.
I love McDonald's with my whole heart.
Oh,
Everything about you is great except the McRib.
Oh man, yeah. No, I'm always eating chicken nuggets
right.
or just a burger. I love their burgers.
Yeah.
The Daily Double. I think that's a new thing. Daily Double meal. It's kind of like the $5 biggie bag of McDonald's. It's pretty good.
Give me a chicken nugget, fries, and a Dr. Pepper, and I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. The McRib, no thanks.
Whew, I think I know what I'm having for lunch.
Right. All right. Hey, check this out. Joey Burmeister doesn't collect the baseball cards or coins like a normal person, right? Not saying he's not normal, but this is pretty unique. He actually collects business cards. It started back in high school, and now it's grown into 16,000 card collections stored across 17 binders. Joey says the hobby helped him out of his shell, and social media, that is, has kept the collection growing, with fans sending him thousands more. For Joey, it's not about the individual cards himself. It's actually about the joy of collecting them one business card at a time. That's unique. I wonder.
That is pretty cool.
What the most interesting person has sent him a card.
I wonder.
Like a CEO of some big company, or
what is the biggest person?
Right, or the most unique one or unique place. Maybe he got some cards from another country.
That would be interesting. You know, I still have business cards from the first meteorologists that I've met.
Really, you know, those business cards are very unique. You know, they're special because that's like your first connection that you made.
Yes.
To get into the business.
Sure.
I still have a few of mine as well, back from high school.
That's great. Yep.
But
Same for me.
You gotta keep
back
them
in high school. Yeah,
you
very
gotta
special.
Keep them. All right, hey, check this one out too. The iconic Wicked Witch of the West Hat. Yeah, we know the Wicked Witch, worn in the 1939 film of The Wizard of Oz, is hitting the auction block once again. This time at the Heritage Auction is selling the black wool hat on December 9th. It's 14 inches tall with an 19.5-inch brim and an elastic chin strap. The Wicked Witch's hat sold for nearly $3 million last year. But memorabilia expert thinks it is worth much, much more now. So what do you think it go for? They say it's more than 19 million, so I'm guessing maybe 30.
30 million. Yeah, I was going to say at least 10 million.
Yeah, no way more
I mean, this
than
is
that.
this is an 86-year-old movie. You know, I think it'd be kind of also cool to get like a piece of the Yellow Brick Road.
It would.
That would be kind of neat. Or you know, everything is going up for auction nowadays. We have Buddy the Elf's costume.
We do
going
have
up
Buddy
as
the
well.
Elf, yeah.
And I think maybe some weapons from Star Wars.
They are.
Like, it's so
the
so
lightsabers. Yeah, those are going for auction. Everything's. Why would someone sell it?
I know.
Another person's treasure, or another person's trash, another man's treasure. So.
Yeah, you put it in a museum.
It's a win-win either way, somehow, one of the two. But hey, what's not going in a museum is this weather, because it's too precious to stay indoors. We got to exhibit it out for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, beautiful weather for everybody here across the area. Let's take a look at our Roberts and Roberts cam. You can see some high-level cirrus clouds. These are fair weather clouds that have ice crystals in them. And these are indicative of some fair weather that is going to be expected into the next several days here. 52 degrees is that temperature right now. Definitely still kind of a day that you'll need a little bit of layers, at least for the morning, but by this afternoon, that's going to be a whole different story. South winds, 8 miles per hour, still going to be gusting upwards to between 15 and 20 miles per hour. Not quite as gusty as yesterday, but you'll still notice a little bit of a breeze. Temperatures here across the area in the middle 40s and low to mid 50s. We got 57 already in Henderson, 54 in Jacksonville, 55 in Palestine, and 46 in Nacogdoches this morning. And for today, way above average. We're going to be jumping up about 10 degrees from yesterday. Yesterday we got to a high in the upper 60s to low 70s. Today, upper 70s, low 80s are going to be a good bet for today. Still will have that kind of blanket of clouds overhead, so that is going to filter out a little bit of sunshine, but temperatures, as you can see, by noon already aiming for the 74-degree mark. Again, I think we'll have a decent chance for some upper 70s in some parts of the area before they start to drop off by the time we get to sunset, which is around 5:30 this evening. Your 3-day forecast shows beautiful temperatures. I mean, beautiful weather. Above average temperatures, it's gorgeous. Temperatures starting out in the upper 50s for tomorrow, low 60s for Friday. Temperatures in the daytime in the low 80s by Thursday and Friday. How long will that trend last, and when will our next chance of rain be? Well, I'll tell you in your forecast coming up later.
All right, looking forward to it, Joel. Thanks so much. 7:44 this morning. Check this out. A Texas College choir student, well, she's taken her talent from the classroom to the national stage by performing the national anthem at an NFL game. CBS19's Yana Aird introduces us to Angel Cummings, whose voice is taking her places she never expected.
I first started, I've been singing my whole life. I come from a singing family. Way, way back on
Texas College choir student and Miss Sophomore Angel Cummings has been singing for as long as she can remember, using her voice to touch others through music, something she calls special.
The Chiefs saw a video of me singing the national anthem at a Texas college football game. But so proudly we hail.
That passion recently opened a door she never expected, one that would put her on a national stage.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars.
Several of our family and friends from Kansas City shared the post and added, tagged the Kansas City Chiefs, hey, you guys need to get her for the national anthem.
After about a month, that tag turned into a dream come true. The Kansas City Chiefs reached out inviting Angel to sing the national anthem for their December 7th primetime Sunday night football game.
It's so crazy. It came the day after she found out that she didn't make it to the next round of American Idol.
Her mom says when one door closes, faith can open a million more.
Now she has the opportunity to sing on one of the largest stages in the loudest stadium in the country.
An opportunity that felt unreal at first, but now it's starting to sink in.
I'm feeling the pressure, but I'm really excited about it.
And for Angel, this moment feels even more special. Her mom has been sharing her singing videos on TikTok 7 years, and some reaching millions of views.
Started posting her because I noticed that there was something different about it. Like, she is special, and she lives up to her name.
Originally from Kansas City and raised in Savannah, Georgia, Angel says singing the national anthem in her hometown stadium is a full circle moment.
I feel like it really won't be real for me until I get on the field, but I want to make my city proud. I want to make my family proud. I want to make my school proud. So I'm going to do the best that I can.
So I feel like all of her hard work that she has put in, from auditions to singing in church, you know, like everything has led up to this moment, and I'm so proud of her. I really am.
And as she prepares to step onto one of the biggest stages in football, Angel Cummings is proving that with faith, family, and a love for music, dreams really do take flight. I'm Ayana Aird for CBS 19.
Such a great voice. 7:47 this morning. Still ahead, if you got married, you know how pricey a wedding can be, and stressful too, but this year tariffs are adding even more costs. Coming up, what couples can do to keep their big day on budget. We'll be right back. Set 49, welcome back. The cost of saying I do was already high in America, and then came the tariffs. But now this year, couples are seeing tariffs drive up the cost of everything, even more, from the ring to the dress, and yes, even the cake. Here's Vanessa with more.
Weddings can be expensive and they can be stressful, but this year, brides and grooms are dealing with an added layer, and it's not the cake, it's tariffs. The average cost of a U.S. wedding has already risen by 18% to $33,000 on average over the last 5 years, according to the Knot. And 2 million weddings happen every year in the United States, but they're very much an international affair. From the engagement ring to the cake, chairs, florals, and the dress, all these items are touched by tariffs. Even those carefully crafted right here in the United States can contain multiple components from around the world. Take the cake. It may be baked by your local baker, but it has white chocolate from Belgium, which carries a 15% tariff, or vanilla beans from Madagascar, 15% again, or rice paper from Vietnam, 20%. Or take the wedding dress. That can have lace from China and tulle from Taiwan, an engagement ring, diamonds from Botswana, and silver from Poland. 1 in 5 vendors have increased costs because of tariffs, and about 33% of engaged couples say they're worried about price increases. One piece of advice from vendors: don't get too married to the exact flower or cake or chair for your wedding. Stand firm on your budget, but be open to swapping things out. One thing, though, you cannot swap is champagne. That, of course, only comes from France, and it also comes with a 15% tariff. Back to you.
All good tips there. Thanks so much. Hey, what won't cost you more is going on our Facebook page and taking part in our question of the day. Here it is. What's your can't leave the house without it item? besides your phone, because we all have one. We all take it with us. We can't live without it. But besides that, what else can't you live without? Earlier we mentioned our mugs, our wallets, water cups. I mentioned my gym bag.
Yeah.
What else? We got to brainstorm here, Joel.
Oh, a phone charger.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to have that.
One.
I mean, that's usually in the car already.
Yeah.
But you got to have that.
I have had two. I have one at home. I usually have one here at work. Someone took mine.
Oh no!
And I don't know where it is.
Oh geez!
It's disappeared. So now I have to get another one.
I don't think it was me.
No, it wasn't you. No,
okay,
no.
I was like, did I take your son?
No, I let someone borrow it. You know who you are. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
They said they'd pay me back. It's okay. It's in one of our station cars.
Okay, cool.
So it's somewhere out in our parking lot. I just gotta play treasure hunt and find it.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Phone chargers is a good one. We talked about water bottles. Maybe what about an extra pair of clothes, especially if you're going to the gym?
Yeah.
Like what's in the gym bag?
Yeah, or I mean, depending on the weather, you'll definitely want, layers.
A jacket,
like
especially if it was cold.
To have, these past few days, you know what I mean?
Hint, hint.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what people on Facebook are saying this morning. Jackie, I like your answer. She was being very specific. She said Sprite.
Oh.
A Sprite every morning.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. I take
Sprite.
a Dr. Pepper every morning as well.
Yeah, Sprite.
Try not to. It's not healthy, but, it is what it is. Tammy saying her lip balm. Christy has an answer. I'm not going to read it out loud. Elaine saying her chapstick. Amy saying purse. Sarisa also saying wallet as well. So all good guesses all around. So
yeah, no, really good. Absolutely.
Especially when it's sunny. But hey,
yeah.
We're going to step away for a quick over-the-air broadcast with a quick news update. But no, we got weather first. I'm skipping you.
How about,
I can't leave the house without my weather.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there you go. Without checking the weather app. Download our CBS19 weather app, by the way. Before we get into our forecast, let's check some things out when it comes to our viewer photos about the Northern Lights last night. Man, fantastic view from Longview from Brent Gage. Thank you so much for that. Beautiful purple hue. Here's another one from Doug Delano from Stallion Lake Ranch. Awesome. Just colors there. You can also see a little bit of stars. I love those. Those are absolutely beautiful. Beautiful purple hue just over the tree line from Brianna Jones. Thank you for that as well. And also we got another beautiful picture here from Debbie Griffin out of Jacksonville. Now there will be another chance for you to see the Northern Lights tonight. Actually, it's going to be a little bit stronger. So after sunset, peaking around 11 p.m. to 5 p.m., that's going to be our best chance to really see it. But even just after sunset, likely to see some just brilliant colors out there for tonight. So if you missed it last night, don't worry, you have another shot for tonight. Upper 70s, low 80s for this afternoon. A couple of clouds, those will eventually clear out just in time for you to see some of those northern lights tonight. Fire danger, moderate to high, very high in some spots further to the north, and low across areas like Center and Hemp Hill and Sabine and St. Augustine counties. So that's some good news there. We are expecting those dry conditions, however, to continue. Luckily, the winds are going to be kind of staying at bay. That kind of helps us out a little bit, but those dry conditions still going to be continuing into the rest of this week until we get to the early parts of next week. That's kind of where it's slated to arrive here. This is our next storm system that we're talking about that could bring in some heavy rain, maybe some strong thunderstorms. We're going to have to keep a close eye on that. But right now, the data is it's very difficult to pinpoint right now, but we will keep you updated throughout the week. But in the meantime, one thing we are definitely certain on is those above average temperatures and dry conditions all the way through this week. Temperatures in the low 80s for this week with lows in the low to mid 60s. Currently, data has it coming in Monday into Tuesday. That is subject to change. And of course, the CBS19 weather experts will keep you updated.
Sounds good, Joel. Thanks so much. Now we're about to step away for a quick moment while we do our over-the-air broadcast. With a quick news update, we'll be back here on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. Governor Greg Abbott is making a campaign stop in the Rose City later today. Earlier this week, he announced he's running for a fourth term. Now, Abbott has served as governor for the state of Texas since 2015. He's inviting Texans to join him for a conversation about his plan to empower Texas taxpayers. This event starts at 1:30 at ETX Brewing Company near downtown Tyler.
No more ice! No more ice! No more ice!
And the governor's visit comes a day after hundreds gathered in downtown for a peaceful protest. They're calling for an end to Smith County's cooperation with federal immigration authorities under the 287G program. The group voiced those concerns over recent ICE arrests in the area, saying the partnership creates fear in the immigrant community and separates families. County officials, though, have defended the program. Just last week, Smith County Sheriff Larry Smith said in Commissioner's Court that his deputies are not profiling people. And more protests are expected to happen today downtown and outside the ETX Brewing Company, where Governor Abbott is set to hold his campaign rally, that is, this afternoon. We'll have team coverage from that protest as well as crews inside and outside ETX starting at noon. You can also watch on CBS19 Plus, which is free to download on your smart TV. Well, right now, tension is building over a major water project in East Texas. A Dallas area company wants to drill 43 high-capacity wells into the Carrizo-Wilcox Aquifer, but a legal fight is slowing everything down. Conservation Equity Management, led by investor Kyle Bass, is suing the Natchez and Trinity Valley's Groundwater Conservation District, claiming the district is stalling the plan. Bass says the goal is to measure how much water is underground before pumping begins, but many locals worry the project could drain their wells and threaten local water supplies. A recent court ruling has paused all drilling until more research is done. The Groundwater District has declined to comment on the lawsuit. And a recall we told you about early this week has expanded significantly. We're talking about the By Heart Baby formula recall. The company is now pulling all cans off the shelves of its stores. Federal and state health officials say at least 15 babies, including here in Texas, a few of them have gotten sick since August. Most recently this month, all 15 babies were hospitalized but are recovering. By Heart is now urging families to stop using any of its formula and throw it out. Let's get checking that forecast now with Joel. Another comfortable day today, much more better than it was this week.
Absolutely, and well above average for this time of year. We got temperatures in the upper 70s, aiming for 80 degrees in some parts of the area with lots of sunshine and a little bit of clouds for a change. Another thing we're going to have to watch for again. A little bit better than yesterday, but still something we're going to have to contend with into today, especially along and north of I-20, is fire danger. High to very high risks here across East Texas. Luckily, the winds are a little bit lighter, which is kind of mitigating this a little bit, but still not a great day to be burning anything, so I do not recommend that at all. Those dry conditions will continue into the rest of this week, along with those above average temperatures until we get to the early parts of next week. We are tracking our next storm system to be moving in sometime next week. We'll keep you updated on that. It could possibly bring some stronger thunderstorms for the first half of next week.
Just after 8 o'clock this morning, news before he head out the door. Governor Greg Abbott is making a campaign stop in the Rose City. He recently announced he's running for a fourth term, and he's been serving as governor since 2015. He's inviting East Texans to join him for a conversation about his plan to empower Texas taxpayers. This event starts at 1:30 at ETX Brewing Company near downtown Tyler. Of course, we'll have full coverage and any updates from this event on CBS19 Plus. We also know protests are expected to happen outside. We have crews both inside and outside later this afternoon, again, which you can stream on CBS19 Plus. Meanwhile, two East Texas brothers, both former law enforcement officers, former Houston County Deputy Skylar Laza and Gladewater Officer Kenan Robert Laza, are facing state and federal child sexual abuse charges. Investigators say nearly 200 explicit videos were traced back to a home in Anderson County where they say the abuse started when the child was just 9 years old. Both remain in custody and are waiting trial. And as the government shutdown nears its end, the House will vote on a stopgap funding bill already approved by the Senate, with the president expected to sign it. SNAP benefits could resume quickly, helping fund over 40 million Americans, but air travel, that may take a while longer. FAA cancellations continue due to controller shortages, and officials want to make sure all towers are staffed before lifting those restrictions.
All right, here's one more look at your 7-day forecast. Well above average temperatures have finally arrived with that ridge of high pressure that's moving into East Texas. We got 78 degrees for today, 80s for tomorrow. I do think maybe some spots today will hit 80 degrees. There's going to be a little bit of cloud cover that's going to be kind of filtering the sun a little bit, but I still do think that a couple of areas today will see 80 degrees, and for sure tomorrow and for the next several days here, partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. Small chance of rain on Sunday ahead of our next system, but that'll be lasting into the next couple of days after that. It's a very slow moving system and the timing is still yet to be pinned down, but so far the data is taking us Monday into Tuesday. Whatever does develop will have that chance to potentially be strong to severe, with some possibly heavy rainfall as well.
All right, 8:03 this morning. Here's something good to tell you about it before you head out. A heartwarming reunion on California's Central Coast. A sea otter pup named Caterpillar was reunited with its mother. Rescuers from the Marine Mammal Center played the pup's cries over a speaker to guide the mother, who eventually followed the boat. After 2 hours, the pup was safely returned to her mom, the first reunion in the area since 2019. With southern sea otters still a threatened species, every reunion like this helps support their fragile population. So sweet.
Wow, and he played the noise, huh?
Right, and then they came back to its mom.
Oh, that's a heck.
I've always wanted to just pet or hold a sea otter. They seem fluffy. I'm like, nice.
Oh yeah.
I hope they are.
Yeah, that or a ferret.
Ferret, yeah.
Yeah.
All these little
they're
cute
so
rodents.
wiggly.
Right? All right, well, like that, we'll head on out. Thanks so much for continuing your day with us here on Morning All on CBS 19 Plus. Make sure to catch the noon show. It's coming up here as well on CBS 19 and our Plus channel. Here's what's coming up on there for the rest of the day. Keep it here for the latest news and weather throughout the day. Have a good morning. We'll see you dark and early tomorrow.